my riches are a perfect fit. I never meant for you to be self-sufficient. Instead, I designed you to need me for not only your daily bread, but also for fulfillment of deep yearnings. I carefully crafted your longings and feelings of incompleteness to point you to me. Therefore, do not try to bury or deny these feelings. Beware also of trying to pacify these longings with lesser gods, people, possessions, and power. Come to me in all your neediness, which defines defenses down, and with desire to be blessed, which enables you to find intimate completion in me. This word can be found in Philippians 4:19, Colossians 2-3, and Psalms 84:11 and 12.
All right. Hey, look, like I always tell you, I don't know how many spirits you ignited, but you definitely got this one ignited all the way up. You know, always appreciate you, always gonna appreciate you. And with those words, we're gonna say, hey,
J. Keith Wallace, keep it going. You got an awesome job.
All right, thank you.
Blessings, sweetie.
Thank you.
Okay.
And with that, I want to introduce my guest, Ravis Martinez, running for State Representative District 44. And he's running for a position that I'm pretty sure he's qualified for. And I want to say good morning to you, my brother.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah,
it's always a pleasure to be with you, and this morning is no different. So I want to thank you, your listeners, and also the viewing audience for having me this morning on Community Matters.
And with that, I'm not going to question you. I want you to represent yourself and what are you doing running in the district that you want to represent?
Sure. Well, let me start by saying this. Again, my name is Ravis K. Martinez. I'm number 74 on the ballot for October 14th for the position of House District 44 seat, where Vincent Pierre is termed out, and it's three of us in the race. As I said before, we're all three good candidates. I think we bring something to the table, yet I think I'm more unique and I can offer more to our district and to really make the change that we need. A lot of times folks come in and they promise things during campaign time. For me, it's about check the records, check what kind of work I've done, check my resume in regards to my ability to not only lead, but to also to make those deals and to be in those difficult rooms and conversations and to make something happen for us. I'm somebody that's delivered both then and now, and I want to represent our district the best way I can. I think, right now we talk about how serious politics is in our community. It's important that we really get people that are not only passionate about this work, but have a track record of getting things done. I'm happy to be here. I want to answer questions. I think, folks somewhat may not know me, or they may know me in different lights. There's no taking off one hat and putting on another for me. I represent the organizations and the things that I do, so I'm happy to speak in any vein because regardless of this campaign, the seriousness of the work of our community continues, before this campaign and after it, and I'm about the business and the work. So I'm continuously doing that. I'm spending a lot of time, in my role as NAACP president. Last night I was in St. Martin Parish working on the desegregation case that I've been working with them for 2 years. I'm part of a focus group where they're bringing to life a new Magnet Academy to really live up to the orders of the court to make things work for the children in that community. And so they're building, and we're building a STEAM school and we're working through all those specifics with teachers, parents, administrators, and again, myself has been at the table to make that happen. So the work is going on.
This is my first time hearing of a STEAM school. Can you go into a little detail
Sure.
what a STEAM school is?
When you talk about STEAM, it's really STEM plus arts. So you're talking science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, where you're exposing children to a wide plethora of learning types and styles that are necessary. Lafayette Parish does a good job here with some of their academies that they're called, specifically J. Wallace James, which is Arts and Technology Academy. It's unfortunate that the city parish is choosing to build us a jail right less than half a mile away from this school. Yet it provides students with a track for arts and technology that's unheard for, and kids gravitate towards that, and that's where we need to be in the meeting. So for me, I know that to provide our children the opportunities of tomorrow, we need to give them the best tools that we can. I'm a serious education advocate. If it's one area that I can say that I'll work tirelessly for on day one, is to supporting our children and education the best way I can to provide them the opportunities that they need.
No, that sounds like a winning platform as far as educating our kids.
Yes, sir.
We are, I think, slipping when we say we're not really raising our kids right. You know what I mean? And when I say raising them right, the phones and the TV, computer is raising our kids, and they're getting a whole lot more aware of what's going on, but they're not getting the accurate, how can I say that, the accurate way to deal with life.
We know that there's a lot of noise, I would call it out there, that are distractions to our kids. The technology has improved to give them instant information, way more depth of information than we've had before. So when I talk about how we incorporate innovation and technology into our learning experiences for our kids, it widens up and gives them something more to gravitate on. I remember when I was in school, and you also, I'm sure, we didn't have Chromebooks or iPads. We didn't have technology where we could literally hear and see, let's say if we're studying a whale or a great white, we didn't have the technology to really see that in its natural habitat performing and then being able to manipulate the data. That's giving them a depth of knowledge that we never could understand. And it's at their fingertips way more faster than ours. Does it take away? Absolutely. But, like I know, our parents are struggling. We're working, we're trying to support our families and kids the best way we can. And so we know that this technology also helps us do that, from monitoring what's going on with their schools, to tracking their movements and seeing out where they are, to keep us safe at night. So I'm never going to be against technology, but I do understand and agree with you that unless we're providing avenues for parents and students and schools, in our whole education community to grasp, innovation, grasp technology in a way that's meaningful, then it's useless. We don't need to send kids home with Chromebooks if we don't have internet access.
Yeah, right.
So we need to ensure that we have broadband access, that we're providing broadband, and we're expanding that to our underserved communities and really all our communities, that we can key more people in. We can provide those avenues and hotspots in ways that we couldn't 10, 15 years ago, and we know in the next 5 years that's only going to improve.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I could kind of pat myself on the back for. When fiber first, they start talking about fiber first coming to Lafayette.
Yes.
I happened to go to Cajun Field because they had a trailer how they had everything or how everything was going to be set up in your home
Sure.
and things like this here. And my friend Bunny, you know, he's deceased today. We went over there and we was all on our knees looking up underneath this trailer, see how things was going. And when we got through and they gave us the tour of the trailer and say how everything was going to be put up, well, we went and we started campaigning for this.
Yeah.
You know, because I seen that it was going to be something real good for the kids in our future. And I tell Brother Jay that all the time. I say, man, I'm so glad that you picked up the technology,
That's right.
you know, to fiber, and you are making it work, not just for yourself, but for the community
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. This is a beautiful platform. You know, I commend your producer and also your show for its longevity and also the seriousness of the programming. You know, we need to get in front of the community more than we've done in the past. That's one thing that I'm going to do when I'm elected state representative for District 44. I'm going to represent in a way that we haven't done before. You know, for me, I want to make sure that I'm bringing jobs and opportunities back to our community. How we do that, folks ask all the time. You say you're going to do this, you say you're going to do that. How are you going to do it? Well, I can tell you, I have a plan. You know, and so day one, when I walk in the door, I'm not going to be looking for where I got to sit down or what buttons I got to press. I know how that body operates. For me, it's about continuing to build those relationships. Day one, I want to propose a bill that's going to bring back and unite our North Lafayette Redevelopment Authority. That's a tool that we have sitting on the shelf, has been sitting on the shelf for some time. Other communities have grasped on that tool and utilized it to bring back their housing stock, to deal with the adjudication issue, and to provide opportunities for families to move into neighborhoods. I want to be able to do that in a meaningful way. You know, we need to provide jobs and opportunities so our families can stop leaving our communities in our state. You know, like I said before, I'm a strong education advocate. And with that comes a responsibility to understand that we have to treat the whole child. And what does that mean? We need to understand what the family dynamics going on. We need to try to provide training and opportunities that we can have a living wage and provide folks a place that we have safe and sanitary housing in our community. All those things are important to ensuring that, one, we're giving every child an opportunity to succeed. That's our charge, that's our mission. And that'll be one of the first things that I look into, asking, bringing back on the table, bringing online, working with our Acadiana delegation to put that back into play. That's something that's a benefit for our community. And I'm going to lead that charge.
Hey, that's a good thing, you know, because I always say education is the key. You know, like I say, when I was coming up, we didn't have all this modern technology.
No.
We had to wait to use the phone because the party line was on the phone, and you couldn't ask them to get off the phone until they was, you know, did their 15 minutes or
Sure.
whatever. It was hard for us to get calculator, you know, in our school, and the teachers taught us to do numbers in our head. You know, I can't remember a number now. I used to be on the school bus.
And those things happen.
I used to be on the school bus, you know, and I see a girl walking. Hey, let me have your number. You know, she would tell me a number. I had it clocked in my head.
So
now you tell me a number, I got to clock it in my phone.
And, you know, and that brings a really serious issue too. Like, how are we ensuring that as we deal with technology and more technology and innovation comes into our lives? We know they got self-checkout lines more than they have people to help us. They have other avenues and things that are taking jobs away from real people in different industries. How are we ensuring that our seniors and other folks have the training to deal with these new technologies, or to convert over, or somebody actually assisting with ensuring that folks know that, hey, you know, there's opportunities and services outside of the phone. You know, sometimes, you know, we need to really talk to somebody, you know, and a lot of times it's hard for us to speak to a quote unquote a real person. one thing I'm going to ensure that my office is going to be open and available to be a place where anybody can call, especially our seniors, to get the help that they need. If one thing I can't provide that service, I'm going to make sure that I'm a connector, that my office is serving to connect folks with the needs that they have. So, again, I'm hopefully that, as we continue through this campaign, we're able to deal with these issues in a meaningful way. We've only had 2 forums. And to my personal feeling, I don't think it's enough. For me, I think we need to debate these issues. We need to understand what folks really say they're going to do and bring to the table, unscripted. We need to hear from them answering questions, and even myself, on what folks feel are the important issues of the day and how we're going to respond. These are serious times for our community and our children. And so it's important that we send the right people to do the right job. Like I said before, everybody that's running, I applaud all of them. Folks are running for different reasons. I know I'm not running against anybody. I'm running for and to represent the community. From day one, since I started, I've opted not to talk about people, but to talk about plans and solutions.
Yeah.
I've stayed away from the mess and dealt more in how we can improve the policy and the conditions of our community. And I'm going to continue to do that. And I've done that while also serving in my various roles and trying to ensure that, I'm helping move the needle, ensuring that our civil rights and our basic rights and human rights are protected here in our community and in other areas.
I got to commend you for that, because I have never heard you talk negative about this campaign. I'm not unfamiliar with you. I'm very familiar with you, your kids.
Let's take it back to the beginning, because it was interesting, how you introduced yourself to me. Myself at the time, I was hosting an event through Impact Louisiana, which is a nonprofit I created that we can really deal with some of the politics in a meaningful way in our community. So I had a candidates a forum or something. I think it was at Don Seafood, maybe.
Yeah.
And you walked up to me and you said, "Hey, I'm hearing about the stuff that you're doing in the community, and if you're serious about it, I'm with you." Have you left me?
Yeah, when I need to go home.
That's right. But have I left you? Have I left you down in all these years? In all this work, I've never left you down.
No.
And you've been there.
Yeah, and like I said, I didn't meet you this morning.
No, sir.
You know what I mean? I've been knowing you quite a while. Matter of fact, I was passing and I seen the girls.
Yes.
I said, Lee, those girls are growing. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Because I used to see them often. I don't see them as often as I used to, but they're growing. If I had anything bad to say about you, I wouldn't have you on my show.
Well, look, I've appreciated the support throughout the years, and you've been a strong advocate for people and communities. And we've been on the same side of a lot of fights, and sometimes we've been on opposite sides of a lot of fights. But we've always been respectful, and knowing that the mission of moving our community forward is central. Regardless of all the petty stuff, it's really how can we move our community forward. And so I've appreciated working with you in that.
Can I get a question? Just
come on.
I love questions.
Given the extreme partisanship, that's my opinion, in Baton Rouge,
Absolutely.
How will you navigate to get?
When I hear that, first thing comes to mind is building relationships. Ensuring that folks know, one, who I am, what I represent, how my whole life has been driven to support people in a meaningful way, that I want to work to have a win-win type of solution. So I'm entering the discussion on that note. Most of these folks know me already. I've been in Baton Rouge many years, really advocating for folks and trying to build those relationships. I've been someone since college that have worked across the board. It has been, I was the fifth African American student body president elected at USL at the time, and then turned it into UL. I was a state leader in an industry that I've always been having to work with folks that don't look like me or don't represent my interests. Yet I've been respected because, one, not only can I articulate the issues, but I live them, and I'm serious about my work, and and I'm a win-win type of guy. So my whole contention is to continue that with the Acadiana delegation. I know a lot of these reps already. I've tried to push them on issues in the community so they can use their voice in their office. So I'm very familiar with them, both Republican and Democrat, and really tried to say, hey, it's going to take all of us to move our community forward. So if my community is suffering or if my district's suffering, your district's suffering too. And once we get to that, once we get away from this, this polarizing, very dangerous position we find ourselves in politics, then we're never going to get anything done. And so for me, it's focusing on those three daughters that you just spoke about and others kids and saying, hey, we have more in common in this great state than we have that divide. We have two interstates, I-49, and system that's growing. How do we grow that? How do we continue to provide access to care to our community that we know we need? We know we need a hospital on the north side. Who's advocating for that? It's literally easier for somebody on the north side to drive to Opelousas to get service, to get service on the other side of town in Lafayette. That's a dangerous position that we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
So access to care for our community is a tremendous area that I know that it ties back to our seniors and our children, and something that I want to be a strong advocate for. And that helps all of us. So when anybody can't say, hey, we know you need a hospital, or we know you need a library, and if I can bring you and show you this, to me, you should have enough common sense and passion to understand, hey, this is going to lift all of us by providing that. So for me, hopefully by being authentically who I am, I don't cut deals. I don't have deals. I don't have major donors. I don't answer to anyone. I support people in a meaningful way, and so I'm going to continue to do that.
Okay, we're talking to Ravens Martinez this morning, and we don't have a whole hour because we got a two-part series this morning, and it's going to go down. But I'm going to allow him to take those 3 minutes that he have left to sell himself and what he's all about, before he goes up there.
Well, sure. No, again, I want to thank you for the opportunity to appear on the show and to listen. And hopefully your listeners have gotten a small glimpse of, what I represent and what I'm about. Again, I'm leadership that serves. It's something that I've done my whole life since I was a young Marine, right out of high school. Transitioned to a college leader where I was a student body president. I'm really helping drive our nonprofit sector and really looking at how we can recreate our community. My company and my work is dedicated to driving economic development on the north side. We're proposing tremendous things in our community to recreate our community, to make it a destination community, something that we can all be proud of, something that we can all work for. I'm running this campaign. It's very simple. I want to get to work. I want to continue the work that I've been doing on a higher level to support our community in a way that's very meaningful, that's very thoughtful, that's very intentional, and it's very serious and focused. We don't have a lot of time. But right now it's very critical that we secure what we have. We've seen tremendous dollars come through this COVID, this ARPA funding that we never touched, that we never got an opportunity to really gain. I'm hoping that you bring me back on your show so we can talk about, I don't want to go back. I'm not somebody that looks back and talks about the missteps. I want to talk about how we can drive and move forward. I think I proposed two things in this talk show, this radio show about, the North Lafayette Redevelopment Authority, and then being a really strong advocate for our children, and how we move the needle with innovation and technology. And so with that, I'm hopeful that folks will pull the lever, number 74 on the ballot on October 14th. You know, I encourage everybody to get out early vote September 30th through October 7th. Vote me, Ravis K. Martinez, House of Representative, District 44.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
Is it anything, and I'm not asking that just to you,
Okay.
I'm asking that to all of my guests.
Sure.
Is it anything in your background that gonna make the city or the district that you're running for shameful?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
For me, even when I speak, you can look at everything I've ever written, everything I've ever said. I always am very, very cautious that I want to make sure that whatever I'm saying, that my grandmother would appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to make sure that even when I'm upset or I'm angry, that I give folks the respect and the dignity that we all deserve. That I know that by yelling or by being in a negative space that I really can't get anything done.
No, right.
And that ain't me.
Right.
So again, thank you for having me this afternoon or
No,
this morning.
This morning.
Still morning time.
Yeah.
And I look forward to coming back on again. I'm Ravis K. Martinez, candidate for House District 44 here in Lafayette, number 74 on the ballot. I would appreciate your prayers, your support, and mostly your vote on October 14th. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Appreciate you, Ray.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you 100%, man. You know, and I'm gonna have you back on.
Yeah, have me back on.
Yeah, oh yeah. Win, lose, or draw.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna have you back on, you know, because I know you're not gonna stop there.
No.
You understand?
I've been before, I'll be back. Thank you.
All right. I thank you.
Yes, sir.
You know. So.
Well, you want to bring your guests on, you're still on there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you got to bring them on.
That's okay. You know. We done a little musical chair.
Okay.
Give me a minute, y'all.
Okay.
I want to get my other guests in.
Okay.
Mr. Walter Campbell.
Mr. Sentinel, how are you?
Fine and yourself.
I'm doing well, thank you, sir.
Come on and have a seat. You know, we trying to push a few things around.
Yes.
You know.
It's a live show. You got to bear with me.
It's all good.
If you want to wear the headset,
All right.
it's up to you. You know, on my next guest, you know, I got Mr. Walter Campbell here. He's running for Lafayette Parish Tax Assessor. We kind of did this at the last minute, but he agreed to come on. He didn't say no or anything like this.
Oh, I'm pleased to be here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because you see him here right now, you know, and he's running for Lafayette Parish Tax Assessor. And with that, I'm going to give him the mic, you know, because he know more about himself than I do.
Yes, sir.
And he know why he's running.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Pleased to meet you.
Nice to be on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm running for assessor.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, let me tell you a little bit about my background.
Okay.
I graduated USL in 1992 with a degree in business.
Mm-hmm.
Met my wife there. Her name is Sherry Campbell, and she just retired from the school system last year and opened up Campbell Academy on Pont Mouton, right across from Brown Park.
Okay.
And after college, I went into the information technology industry and did that for about 10 years. And then my family got together and we wanted to get into the house flipping market. So my brother-in-law was a realtor at the time here in Lafayette. And she said, why don't you go get your real estate license and we'll start flipping houses. Mm-hmm. This is back in January of 2000. And before the year was out, we'd flipped our first house. Mm-hmm. And for the last 24 years, advocates.
Okay.
In 2008, I was at a Boy Scouting event. My friend Louis Perret, our clerk of court, and I both worked with the Boy Scouts at Our Lady of Fatima. And is that better?
Yeah,
all right. And we were at a Boy Scouting event when I told him that I'd like to serve in public office. And he said, well, what role would you like to serve in? And I said, I'd like to be the next assessor. Mm-hmm. So since then, I've been talking to our current assessor, Conrad Como, about my interest in being the next assessor. And he is retiring at the end of next year. So my desire is to run, win.
Benefit the parish of Lafayette? Would it benefit your real estate company and not nobody else?
So when I become assessor in January of 2025, I will no longer sell real estate.
Okay.
So I'll be a full-time assessor, and I believe by that time I'll have 25 years of experience in real estate. And I think that my history in real estate gives me an excellent foundation to value property.
Okay.
I value property every day as it is. I work with the assessor, I work with the appraisers, I work with banks to value property.
Have property that some taxes are higher than others. You know, some taxes need to be lower than others, and I'm just trying to get the community aware of what you really all about. You're not going to come in here
And accurate valuations. And I think everybody in our community, some are, I think, overly assessed. Some are, frankly, under assessed.
Yeah.
And then there are, some that are right on target, like right where it should be.
Yeah. You know, and this is what the Community Matters Show is all about, bringing what the community need to know about you and any other candidate that's running for office to have the right assessment of our people.
Commercial real estate and commercial over to the sheriff, who then turns the values over to is that we have voted on, and that's where the bills come from. So the people who paying said, my intention is to remove the word tax from the Lafayette Parish tax assessor.
That's exactly the tax collector, right?
I'm not the tax
Who
collector.
had the boogeyman.
Yeah.
And the value that the assessor set for their property, they have the right to come to the assessor's office and appeal it. And I will tell you,
Okay.
and I've been in real estate for 24 years, customer service.
Right.
I intend to employ a scheduling system. You guys might use it here at the station, like that, in the assessor's office, where if you want to appeal, here are the times available, and you can put your name in that slot. You're asking a person that's not in the office to give you a number budget. It is so, you got to be an accountant to understand. And
For a city this size, a parish this size,
Yeah.
Okay. Growing parish.
If take office until January of 2020, the current assessor regularly, my into the wheel. I want to go to the people that have already invented a really awesome wheel and use their best practices in our assessor's office. And I'd also like to get certified in every possible certification that an assessor can have, so that when I step in office, I am prepared to take the torch from Conrad Como, who's done some good stuff in the office, and in his brand new building that I visited the other day. That is the People's Building, by the way, and not miss a step, and in fact have some plans to immediately deploy when I take office.
Well, I was getting ready to say that Comrade Como been in office quite a while.
When he retires, it'll be 24 years as assessor, and prior to that, he was a city councilman for 12 years.
Okay. I'm off into a little politics, and I try to be not deep into it, but stay around it to where I could get be aware of what's going on. He's one man I ain't never heard nobody brought up no dirt on.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I've never heard anything about him.
That's probably why he's been in for 24 years.
Yeah.
And he's not running. He's retiring.
Time. Yeah.
So it's kind of like Michael Jordan. He's retiring on top.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. And I would pray that you get that position. You be just as awesome as him, and not as him, but better than him. You
I
know,
would be delighted to do that.
yeah, and that's what I'm looking at. I hear a lot of good things about you now. You know, didn't know you before you started to run, but when people get to running for a position, you either gonna hear some bad things or you're gonna hear some good things. And so far, I'm gonna be frank with you. I've been hearing good things about you. You know, and it's a pleasure me to have you on this show this morning, speaking to someone that's gonna be wonderful for the parish of Lafayette. You know, because at the end of the show, I'm gonna ask you that anyway. You know, do you have anything in your background, in your future, that's going to hurt you or the people of the parish, city parish of Lafayette?
No, sir. I'm a God-fearing man. Been married to my wonderful wife Sherry for 31 years. Got 2 wonderful children. My son works in the oil fields. My daughter works as a doctor in Baton Rouge. She's an ER doctor in Baton Rouge. I'm very proud of both my children.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter and her husband have 2 little babies.
Okay.
That's my sunshine.
Yeah,
And
somebody you could spoil. Let's put it like this, and you could spoil them.
yes.
You know,
Yes.
you couldn't spoil your kids, but you could sure spoil those grandkids.
Well, I think that my wife and I did an excellent job. We leveled off our spoiling and our
you know, and that's a good thing. I say, well, you see, you couldn't spoil your kids like you're gonna spoil your
That's right.
grandkids.
and you can give them back.
Yeah, yeah. When they make too much noise, wait, Mama, come get them.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know, if you have anything you have to do, you don't have to look for.
That I'm former military.
Okay.
I'm a veteran, and I have at my company where I work. I've been there. This is my 15th year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of that. And I've served as our broker, statewide broker. I've served as a regional manager. I've served as our CEO, and I've been I think, an honored member of my company.
Mm-hmm.
I hold my ethics to the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
My integrity. I want to use Louisiana Open Checkbook in the assessor's office because I believe that the community needs to know where every dime goes,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe in complete transparency. I want fellow Lafayette Parish citizens, I want to, if I can know where the money's going, I can have a lot more comfort
Yeah.
in giving the money.
Money. Mm-hmm.
We're going to pay taxes. Taxes are not an investment. Taxes are our obligation to our community. It's our share that each of us have to pay to have the roads we have, the drainage we have, the police we have, the fire we have, the schools we have, all of those things. And I'll give you an example. Joey Durrell, some years ago, he asked us for 1 cent for 1 year for an airport.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It was 1 cent for 1 year, and we got a beautiful airport.
Yeah.
And the people can be proud of that investment. That was our investment to improve our airport.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's why a lot of people don't like to hear the word taxes, you know, or raising taxes,
Mhm.
because we don't put a limitation, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years.
Here's what I would say, and this is to me as much as it is to anyone else. Whenever a new tax is proposed, they generally have a lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then at the near the end of that lifespan, we vote to extend that lifespan, or we choose not to.
Right.
In fact, in the last election, we chose, I think it was a library tax, and we chose not to extend it.
Right.
And so we, as the voters, we get to select as a citizenry
Mm-hmm.
what we want improved in our worlds, and as a group, if we don't see it valuable, like we voted to give the teachers some benefits.
Yeah.
But if we, and guess what? Our schools are improving. For the state.
Yeah.
Anyway, he has reported that our schools are improving. In fact, some Lafayette schools are improving.
Proven.
So that means that the money that we've agreed to give government is being well spent, and the results are coming out with our kids having improved education.
That's just like road taxes. Personally, I don't mind paying a road tax as long as my road tax is gonna get done. You know, in our past, we have said a lot of things that we was gonna do for taxes, and a year, 2 years went by, nothing was never really done with the taxes. And I think that's what discouraged people a lot of time from doing things, you know. When they allowed gambling to come up, you know, a lot of the casino money, the gambling money was supposed to go for different projects that nobody never seen nothing go, but the casinos got bigger. Some of those things, you know, this is where people fail to want to do things, you know. And me talking to you, it seemed like you got the people. You're a successful real estate man. You know, you don't have to go no further. You know, you could retire into real estate and kick back comfortably. But you see things that you could do better.
That's a great word. The word better.
Better.
And that word has been in my mind for months.
Yeah.
During my campaign, what can I do better for our city parish government? Can I spend a couple minutes to tell you about my platform items?
That's your mic.
All right. So number one, I would like to do more outbound communication with. I'm a veteran, and I'd like to do more outbound communication benefits that we have voted to give them. This is my 12th week walking doors. I've worn through 2 pairs of shoes, and I love it. And I've met thousands of people, and a lot of them are disabled vets, and they don't know about the rights that we have voted to give them. And also our seniors. If you're 65 and older, and your household adjusted income is $100,000 or less, your assessed value can be frozen. So your market value will continue to rise, but your assessed value, for which your taxes are based, will remain the same. You wouldn't believe, this week I've met seniors that are in their 70s that could have qualified when they were 65. And I said, please put it in your phone and go to the assessor's office tomorrow. Because all you need is your driver's license and your 2022 tax return showing your income. Bring it down to the assessor's office at 1010 Lafayette Street and ask for the assessment freeze. So that's an important thing to me. Also, I want to improve the technology in the office. Realtors, lenders, title attorneys, abstractors, appraisers, landmen and women, and city employees utilize the assessor's website or sites are more rich with information. For example, if you go to Iberia Parish and you pull up 123 Main Street, you'll actually, beyond the tax roll information, you'll see an image of the subject property. We don't have that in Lafayette. You'll also see a sketch of the exterior perimeter of the home with a square footage. And it helps us, as realtors particularly, know that we're talking about the right property. In Acadia Parish, you can actually download the assessor and the clerk of court over there have collaborated, and the clerk's information is accessible on the assessor's website, where you can pay and download recorded instruments like plats and surveys and things like that right from the website. I think it's fantastic. Third thing I'd like to do is work with our consolidated government on consolidating some of the databases that we have. Right now, you and I are in no fewer the database. And I think it will improve efficiency. And I'm talking consolidated databases. I'm not talking about consolidating jobs or anything like that. I'm just talking about consolidating databases. Because I think it will improve efficiency. It will reduce errors, omissions, and duplications in the database. And that way, you and I aren't in there multiple times with, what's your middle name?
Lewis.
Wallace Lewis Senegal.
Mhm.
W. Lewis Senegal.
Mhm.
Wallace L. Senegal.
Mhm.
It's in there a bunch of different ways, right?
Mhm.
You'll be in there one time.
Time. And
That's it.
that's it.
Yes.
And then that way, everybody will have better access to what's going on, you know. And I came up with the word better, and it seemed like you are now.
It would only improve all of our government offices because check this out. Right now, it takes between 30 and 90 days, and I use 90 as an outside date, but to get a document processed from the clerk of court's office, like a closing document, processed through the clerk's office and into the assessor's database. And I've talked to lots of title attorneys, and they're using e-recordings now. So when you go to a sale, they don't. Wouldn't it be cool that from the attorney's office that closes the sale, they scan it in, it goes to the clerk's office. One of the clerks looks at the documents, make sure all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted, and then hits a button, and boom, it's available to the sheriff, the clerk, the assessor, and the tax collector.
That alone would just went off that name.
3 minutes.
Yeah, you got a few
2
minutes.
minutes.
Okay.
2 minutes to give all the information that you want the listeners to go on, especially your number.
Please visit CampbellForAssessor.com. Please visit Campbell for Assessor on Facebook. It's in there. You can also learn more about my background and my experience and what I bring to the table as the next assessor. I would love your vote. The election is October 14th. That's 22 days away and counting.
And you got early voting that starts
September 30th
30th to the 7th.
to the 7th. Yes.
You know, and that's the best way to go.
Yeah,
early vote.
that is a good way to go.
Yeah. And your number.
My cell phone number is
No, not your cell phone number.
Oh, my ballot number. No. It's okay.
No,
But I would
Recognize
love
the
to.
name.
Yeah.
That's the name that counts.
I have a mailer going out. It will have my ballot
But,
number.
okay,
Yes.
okay, you got a ballot going out.
And I'm happy to give my cell phone number over the radio. It's 337-251-6500. That's my personal cell. I have taken lots of calls from people who were interested in talking about the property tax. Of course, they want to talk about everything else too.
Yeah. Well,
And I'm like, well, that's a legislative matter, but I'm happy to talk to you about it.
yeah. Well, when you gave me your number, you said that's my cell phone number. Call me.
Yes.
And we'll intervene with giving your cell phone number out. Some people give their office number out, but you're very transparent. You know.
Mr. Senegal, what I would promise to you as well is, God willing and voter willing, on October 14th, I become the next assessor-elect. I would love to continue to be on your radio show,
Okay.
to allow you to ask any questions that you'd like, your listeners to ask any questions that they'd like, just to keep them aware of what's going on in the assessor's office. For some, it's a mundane, boring, and I want to merge my desire to serve my community with my years of service in real estate into that role, because I think it's going to benefit our citizens.
Right.
And your listeners are going to be wanting to have accessibility to me too, and I would promise that as well.
Well, that's why I call it the community matter, and I'm glad you're inviting yourself back on before I get on the radio and say, man, Walter Campbell was on my program. I can't get him back
Way
on.
back in the day.
Yeah, I can't get him back on now. I'm glad you're the one that said you wanted to come back on.
Absolutely.
And that makes me pleased to hear that, somebody else want to come on other than you right now. But I got you. I got you. I hear a lot of good things about you, man. And I'm all over the community.
God's on my side. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's I talk to him every day, and I ask for blessings from him every day.
Yeah. Well, that's the one you got to ask first, and then you ask the God people. You understand me, for their support. And that's how.
Please vote for Walter Campbell for assessor.
Yeah. He don't know his number right now, but he's gonna do a mail-out ballot, and his number gonna be on it, you know. And I wish him all the luck in the world. Not luck, blessings. I wish
Thank
you
you.
all the blessings, you know, because luck you could find it anywhere, you know. But blessings is so important. I normally start my show off with a prayer, and the prayer warrior, when I call her and talk to her, I say, ignite our spirit, you know, and she read the prayer to ignite our spirit. We'll see you on the campaign trail. We'll see you October the 14th, you understand me, at your victory party.
It's a thank you. It's going to be at Bailey's on Johnston Street.
Okay. Okay.
And that's a busy day.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got the Festival Acadian,
Yeah.
you got LSU playing. So please get out there. You got the Kiwanis of Acadiana Zydeco Pancake Breakfast that day at Park International. It's a busy day. So please get out there and vote. Vote. Use your civic responsibility.
It's to vote early.
Yes.
Use one of those special days, you understand me, to go out and early vote. Then that way, when Saturday get here, you won't have to worry about being late for the festivals or anything else that you want to go to on that day.
That's right.
You know. So with that, I thank you for allowing me to. Saranada.
God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell.
That was awesome. Man, that went by like an